listeners, this is Amanda Murray, also known as Amsoul. You're listening to Artist Survival Guide Miami Edition. This episode is a special episode. I have a special guest finally. It is Jedhi Weir. He is an illustrator and storyteller of the comic Elements on Webtoons. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me. What makes me a special guest?
Because you're the first guest.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't. So,
how's your experience as an artist here in Miami?
Dreadful. It's very freelance as far as I know it. Working a gig here, working a gig there, doing commissions for people who want, they want signage, or they want some kind of graphic or a logo. Most of my business has been online, doing commissions for people. I'm kind of in a Star Wars community that likes to have people draw their characters for them, so that's that. But I've also done TV shows, movies, commercials, working on costumes, wardrobe. I've also helped to build platforms with the Local 500, which is a stagehand union. So none of the work really has been very consistent. I guess there's just not enough to go around. There are a lot of artists down here in Miami, so it's a big pool for people to choose from. So it's a little bit difficult to get your hand on work that is consistent, but also, free enough to feel like an artist, I guess.
Okay, I hear you on that. What has made you successful in your experience?
Being friendly, I would say. Being friendly, being committed, commitment to your skill sets. And I mean, improving your skills so that when people see what you're capable of, they're like, oh yeah, I could definitely use someone like you, and I'll definitely call you for this project that I have later on. That sort of thing. So just being willing to be sociable. I know it's a little bit difficult as an artist, where it seems like it's a very solitary thing. It seems almost as if whatever you're going through as an artist, you're going through it alone, and you may be, but you still do have to get out there. You do have to socialize. You do have to market yourself, because you can be the most incredible artist in the world, or the most incredible artist in your community, but if you're not showing up, if you're not showing your talents, then nobody is going to know. And if you're not friendly, no one's going to want to hire you.
I hear you on that one. What would you say is the most important skill set or thing to have to be successful?
Persistence. I would say persistence, stick-to-itiveness. Being consistent is something that everyone wants to see. No one wants to, see a painting that's got pieces missing of it. Everyone wants to see something that looks complete. So whatever you're doing, if you're making clothes, if you're painting pictures, if you're if you're doing songwriting, or if you're making beats, or whatever it is you're doing, whatever your artistic pursuit is, you have to be relentless. You have to consistently be putting something out, because someone else is. And if you're not on that level, if you're not consistently pouring out work, people are unfortunately going to get bored, or they're going to lose their attention. They may love what you do, but you just may not be doing it enough for them to care to follow you consistently. They may like what you do, but if you're not constantly putting things out there, it's kind of like a, well, I've already seen this. I've seen your work yesterday, and you don't have anything today, so I'm going to move on to someone else.
Okay.
So, persistence.
Being a storyteller in Miami, do you feel like you've created a community or joined a community that helps support you and your career in Miami?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Not yet. The power of yet.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a creative block, and how did you overcome it?
I have had creative blocks, and this is a problem that I see with a lot of people that I know who
are artists, who consider themselves artists, or, you know, want to be artistic. When you have a creative block, like, the thing to do is not take a break. It's a creative block is a phase that you can really only get out of by being creative or trying to be creative. Yeah, you can take a break when you're, you know, when you feel overworked, or when you've done enough work for the day that you know that you need some time away from the screen or the canvas, or, you know, whatever your platform is, or, you know, that you're doing your artwork on. If you need to take a break, by all means take a break, but the only way through a creative block is through inspiration or through pushing through it. You could let time lapse and just take a break and not do art for a while if you want to, but your skills will, maybe they won't wane, but you would be serviced better if you're having a block by figuring a way around it than just letting it be there and letting it dissuade you from getting your hands on your craft. You want to keep your hands on your craft, or you want to keep your mind in it. So one great way that I've found to, like, be creative is I know a lot of people out there love Studio Ghibli movies. Watch a Studio Ghibli movie. Like, pay attention to what they're doing while you're, I guess this only speaks, I don't know if this only speaks to visual artists, but for me, this is what I do as a visual artist, is I will watch something that has inspired me in the past, or something that I know will inspire me while I'm working, and that usually helps me to get the creative juices flowing again, because it is inspiring, and it's meant to.
Okay. With me, I know whenever I have a creative block, and you know, I'm a visual artist and / painter.
Right.
I would just paint anything and everything, like, because I know when I have creative block, I'm hyper focused on something, and I can't figure it out. So I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna draw a cat, a rabbit, draw everything and anything, see what the composition is, and rework it a little bit and get back on the wagon.
Right. Yeah, just like keeping yourself busy, keeping your hands busy, doing new things or doing different things is a great way to, like, get out of that block, I would say. Another trick that some people like to do is they work on several projects at the same time, and they'll switch between whichever one they're working on when they get bored of one, or when they're feeling themselves blocked, they'll move on to another project that is maybe a little bit easier, or just is not challenging them in the same way.
And I know you also write as well. So do you ever get writer's block?
Nope. I don't. I genuinely have I'm always thinking of Elements or the other like 4 different stories that I have going on right now. I'm always thinking of them, so it's really easy. And also, I like to go into previous ideas that I've had as well and expand on them. So it's like, usually if I've like fleshed out an arc for a character, I can go back into that arc and find new things to do with it. It's really not that hard for me. And I also like a great way, I think, for that has worked for me is when I'm thinking of different scenarios that characters can be in, I will act out the scenarios. Like, just speak to myself while I'm on a walk or something. Act out the scenarios of like 2 characters or 3 characters, however many characters are in the scene, I'll act it out. And through that, I will find new things to implement into what's going on in the dialogue or what is going on in the context of the scene or what is going on in the context of that particular story. And there was something else I wanted to say. Could you repeat the question?
Do you ever get writer's block?
Right. When I talk to people about my stories as well, I also get ideas, especially if it's someone who is like-minded in that way. Like, if I'm talking to another writer, usually when I'm talking to them about something specific in one of my stories, an idea will come to me on the spot. So speaking with someone else who is also creative helps me to get those juices flowing, if that makes sense. It's just like, by talking about writing or by talking about storytelling, I'm also generating at the same time. So sometimes I'll be talking to someone about something and I actually don't have it fleshed out yet, but I will flesh it out as I am talking to them, and it just comes to me.
I just realized that we talking about storytelling, but how would you define storytelling when it comes to a career?
I don't know yet. I have not been fortunate enough to tell any stories as a career, so I cannot speak to that.
Okay. Do you remember the first time you created something that you call art and felt good about what you created and the feeling it gave you? Can you speak about that?
When it makes me feel good, I mean, I really only feel good about what I've done when I get positive feedback.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't otherwise it just feels like this is something I'm doing because I want to do it, but I don't feel, I don't know, I don't get a sense of pride of like completing an art piece just because I wanted to do it. I know how it sounds. It sounds like, oh, you only get enjoyment from doing it. No, I get enjoyment out of the process and out of like figuring out how to do something. Mm-hmm. But I usually feel best when I have good feedback from my art. It's not just for me. I'm not just doing it for me. I'm never just doing artwork just for myself. I don't know. I don't get pleasure from my own artwork in that way, if that makes sense. I get pleasure out of doing artwork for other people or for other people to see. That's why I do it. I don't do it just for me. yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I feel like we differ in that sense, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just I could never
Really figure that out. Just doing art just because I enjoy it. Or like having a result that I enjoy, because what I envision in my head is never what comes out. I always envision that I can do something better than what I'm capable of. And I think that's what pushes me to be better. I'm never really satisfied with anything that I've done personally. And it comes to a point where, like I said, I'm never satisfied, but everyone else enjoys what it is that I do. And it's like, that's really the only way that I can get satisfaction. Because for me, I'm never satisfied with what my skill level is. I'm never like, okay, I'm good enough. No, I can always be better. So I never enjoy the final product, really. I can fake it because I know that people want me to be like, oh, aren't you proud? Don't you like what you've done? Yeah, I like it. Kinda, but I like more that you like it. Or that whoever likes it.
Okay. Has there ever been a time where somebody didn't like it or didn't understand the artwork that you made?
Absolutely. And I try to avoid that as much as possible. And by avoid that, I just mean I want to make everything as clear as I can. I don't always succeed, so I look to friends who are also skilled and who I think are competitive in terms of their skills with me, and like, showing them, like, does this make sense? Is this cohesive? Does it flow well? Can you understand what's going on in the scene? I like to ask those kinds of questions because, yeah, there are times when people will not understand the vision that I put on, and it's like, of course I understand it, like I'm the one who made it, but it needs to make sense for everyone else, which is, another reason why I can't just be satisfied with my own opinion. Like it needs to make sense for everyone else too. It cannot just make sense for me. For me, that's I don't understand how people can do that, where they make something that only makes sense to them. It's like, yeah, but then don't show it to anybody. I
don't know. Let's talk about elements.
What about them?
Wow. What is Elements about? I know it's a Webtoon comic. Tell me about Elements and tell my listeners.
Sense of deja vu here.
Of course you would.
Elements is it's a comic that I've been writing for since middle school, honestly. Now I'm 31 and I'm finally getting serious about it. But it's a story about 4 teens who are gifted with the powers of nature, fire, air, earth, and water. And they are tasked with fighting against the forces of evil, fighting street crime, fighting natural disasters, or trying to rescue people or put a stop to natural disasters where they can. That's basically it. But the characters are Cloud, Benita, Kay, and Jack, and they are all from kind of distinct but American backgrounds, and they each have their own personal family struggles to deal with on top of saving the world.
Okay. And this is a digital comic.
This is a digital comic.
Yeah. Often webtoons blend visuals, sounds, and narrative within some creators do within their their series. How do you approach their visuals in your scenes?
How do I approach the visuals? Well, I at one point had 2 other artists working with me. I think now it's down to 1. But yeah, I was doing, or I am doing the line work. I'm doing the coloring for the characters, and I have a background artist. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And I know how you, with your panels, you do it one panel and just keep going, or is there's like pages?
I have my system currently. I don't know if it's the best system in the world, but it's the one that makes most sense to me, and it
Makes it very easy for uploading. I guess it's a little, or it seems different from the way that most comics do things on Webtoons. It's just like one long continuous file. Most others, it seems like, I don't know. I really don't know how they do it, but I know that they break up the action a lot with a lot of white space or black space, and I'm not too crazy about that, but maybe that's just because of my understanding of how comics are usually written, or how manga is usually written. That's the way that I usually digest those kinds of things, is that the action is not super broken up, but it works for them. So
That's true. Can you share any behind the scene challenges you faced during the creation of Elements?
behind the scenes challenges.
I mean, I could show you better than I could tell you. But
Formatting, really? I don't know.
Formatting? That was like a growing pain for you?
A little bit, just like,
I guess because I'm not uploading image by image, I'm doing it all as one file. Like formatting all of the different cells of the animation, different cells of the comic is, I don't know. It's been, I don't know if I'd say challenging. It's just something that we had to work through.
And what about time management? Has that been a issue before? Or at least coordinating how to
A little bit, yeah.
upload?
A little bit. I think just, with people's different schedules, it's kind of hard to, just, you have to do this and you have to do it now. I kind of struggle with doing that. I don't want to, I don't want to boss people around or shout at them or get mad at them for not doing things when I want them to. But yeah, that will slow things down.
So you wrote the story since middle school, and now you're at this age now. Is this what you envision yourself doing?
No.
Oh, snap. Sound
Not
like a
really.
story behind that.
No, I mean,
I envision myself doing a number of things, and that has changed constantly. I never saw myself really going back to Elements. I always kind of had it in the back of my mind until recently, when I started thinking about it seriously. And, after some personal developments, I was just like, yeah, I think I want to now do this. I think I want to now focus on this story that I think can teach people some things about the world, about themselves, about personal development, and also entertain them with like a fun story with like, cute characters and having those characters develop and see how their arcs progress over time. I don't really know what I thought I was going to be doing at 30, but yeah, I wasn't writing comics when I was younger. I guess I imagined myself being a director, a film director or something, but no.
I know that when I was growing up, when I was in middle school, I wanted to be a game designer, and it changed a little bit for me. I went to college for illustration, and then I was just like, I don't think I want to be doing games like that, but eventually down the line I'll do it. But I wanted to pursue illustration after college, like children's books and stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't dip into that at some point.
This is true. From Elements, what would you want your readers to take away from Elements?
I want readers to gain a bit more awareness of their own life situations. But I also I genuinely want people to have a good time. I want people to like kind of have a fandom around this. I always enjoyed the idea of fandoms. I know sometimes they go too far, but I think the idea of having a fan club around these characters that I created, and you know the adventures and the stories that they're going to be going through, I think that would be, I don't know, I think that would just be fun. But I do want people to take away certain life lessons that I think are valuable to me, or were valuable to me, and like the wisdom that I had gained from people over the years. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a small break from the questionings and have a little bit of fun. So, this is a small little thing that I usually do on my podcast. Not particularly this one, but since you're here, I wanted to try it with you. Fill in the blank. I'm going to give you a prompt, and you're going to fill in the blank for it for me. Sounds good?
I'll try.
All right. So, when you are not creating, you are
Wasting?
wasting?
I don't know.
Wasting what?
I don't know. The opposite of creation is destruction, so.
Wow. Okay, interesting. You will find this on my desk.
A lamp.
A lamp.
I don't know. That's what came to mind. Yeah, this is the game. I'm playing it.
I find that this is a myth in my
what?
career. What is a myth?
What is the myth in my career?
Mm-hmm.
That hard work is gonna solve everything? I don't know.
That's a myth?
Isn't it?
Oh boy.
There's a lot of people who succeed as artists, as entertainers, as whatever, who do things that I heard a story. This guy was talking about how he was like a serious artist, like a serious music artist, and he wasn't getting anywhere. And then he moved to Vine and he started doing these stupid little videos, and it got him more success than his hard work ever did. So I feel like, yes, working hard is a myth that it will bring you success. It doesn't have to in this day and age.
Dang. Okay. You'll find that my biggest strength is
my biggest strength is you'll find that my biggest strength is my observations, I guess.
okay. I can see that. A guilty pleasure of mine is
Guilty pleasure. I don't know. I don't feel guilty about any of the things that I really enjoy. I don't really feel guilty, so I don't know. I don't feel bad about liking what I like. I don't know. I have friends who sometimes call me a furry because I like certain characters, and I'm just like, okay. I'm not, but okay.
Okay. Very interesting. That's the end of my fill in the blank. Thank you for participating. You should see him smiling. My guilty pleasure is dad jokes.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
I'm about to tell one right now, and you know this one. You look so disappointed. What do you call a mean chicken?
I don't know.
A jerk chicken.
Wonderful.
If you would give an aspiring storyteller any advice, what would it be?
What would it be? An aspiring storyteller, pay attention.
Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to yourself. Be more meditative in your life. And when I say meditative, I mean more so reflective. Like, understand what's going on around you, or try to make sense of the world around you. In making sense of the world around you, you will form stronger opinions, and you'll just gain more insight on the world that you're in. Understanding the world the way in which you understand the world that you're in is what will color how you tell stories. You know, the more that you know, the more you know, the better. And knowing is not just having information, it's also processing it.
Retweet on that. Where can my listeners find you?
They can find me at Jedhi the Jedi at Instagram, or on Instagram. They can find my webtoons, which is Elements, at you have to search my name along with it, Elements, Jedhi Weir, JEDHIWEIR.
And what about Instagram for Elements?
Instagram for Elements is elements.comic.
All right, you hear it here. You hear it here.
You hear it here.
You hear it here. Thank you, listeners, for listening. This is Amanda Murray and Jedhi Weir. I hope to see you on the next episode.
All
Peace.
right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.